So let me get this straight. China unveils the fastest high-speed train, but America is building the tallest prison in the world.
Hello amazing viewer, this is Comfort for Life. I bring to you a compilation of TikTok videos together with famous channel show videos for educational purposes. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and to my returning viewers, I love and appreciate you. Your love for this channel is on another level. I love you and I don't take it for granted. Let's dive into today's video.
So let me get this straight. Slavery was abolished at the 13th Amendment, except when it comes to prisons. And how was the government going to get around keeping black people enslaved?
I did not know slavery exists until I went to prison. See, I can speak about slavery, right? Because I've been a slave. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery unless you've been convicted of a crime. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I catch you.
I'm inventory. At the age of 17, a slave for the state of Texas to serve 8 years of servitude in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Now, why you say slave? Because some people think that, hey, once you're there, you just get a bunk bed, you get a book, and you get to just sit there in boring silence for the rest of your days.
You asked me why I said slavery?
Let's go.
Have you ever seen a nigga pick cotton?
Nah.
Where have you seen a nigga pick cotton at?
Never in my life.
A slave, though.
Oh, slave. Yeah.
Nigga, I was sent to pick cotton. That's why I said.
Oh, so you? So wait. So
I was sent to see.
Wait. All right,
I ain't never seen nothing but a slave pick cotton.
Wait. So you have actually picked cotton off the cotton plant?
I have picked cotton off the cotton plant. Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You pick cotton off the cotton plant.
38.3% of our current inmate population is black, but according to the 2020 census data, only 12.2% of our national population is black. So if you don't believe in white privilege, how do you explain this disparity?
Maybe because they commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true. It actually is.
They do.
So let me get this straight. Slavery was abolished at the 13th Amendment, except when it comes to prisons. And how was the government going to get around keeping black people enslaved? By keeping them in the prison system. Hence the war on drugs, which focused very much on black people and associating them with drugs and making them overly sentenced for petty drug crimes, therefore planting crack cocaine in black neighborhoods in the 80s and overly sentencing them, such as Sharon Edwards, for a petty crime such as stealing car keys, where he's serving 2 sentences for 1 crime. That's how they've been getting away all these years, by overly sentencing black people for these small, petty crimes. Because it's legal in the 13th Amendment. They can legally keep them as slaves in the prison system. But happy late Juneteenth.
This is going to be really hard for me to talk about, so bear with me. It's going to get dark in here. We are going to talk about the dark history on why jails were created. In 1863, African American slaves were freed. They thought things were great, but they really just got backstabbed. Now, as you know, in 1861 and 1865, the American Civil War happened. During the Civil War, roughly 179,000 black men fought in the Civil War. They fought in the war because they thought America would look out for them, which ultimately made them worry, because now how do we keep these people in control? The government needed a way to create peace, to keep the white people happy, but also take care of the African American citizens that just got freed. Before the 1890s, where they started the Prison Act, jails and prisons tend to look like houses. Some like this. After the American Civil War, the number of U.S. penitentiaries in the South and West spiked. So, who y'all gonna put in there? After this, a lot of African Americans were locked up. Their inmates population surpassed 30,000. By 1880s, African Americans became the major inmates. They were backstabbed. You're telling me that they helped fight the war and then they were falsely imprisoned to do more labor? Convicts, who were originally slaves, dug levees, laid railroad tracks, picked cotton, and mined coals for private companies and planters. Mostly false imprisonment, or doing more time than they deserved. Innocent man locked up for 37 years. In 1944, George Steeny, 14-year-old, electrocuted, and he was innocent. We're still living in this dark history, and Joe Biden played a part in it. Your president signed a crime bill, which was one of the key contributions to mass incarcerations in 1990s, especially hurting blacks and brown Americans. African Americans, they were never really freed. It just was switched. Black people were never given equality. Let's just clear that up. African Americans have been fighting for decades for equality from the government. Everybody be safe out there.
Americans. 6,109 versus 2,795 per 100,000 plus. Number of arrests of black Americans in 2018, 2.8 million.
Girl,
Percentage of people on probation or parole who are black, 30%. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
30% in prison and 30% on probation.
30% in prison, 38% in prison or in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And 48% of blacks is serving life without parole or virtual life sentences who are black.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
It's ridiculous.
never. Like, I mean, nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to be without money. I get it, right? We all living it. Especially right now, times is harder than it's ever been.
Yes.
But just to think that I'm going to do something quick, like, when I was younger, to go to jail, you don't care.
Right.
It is never that serious. I'd rather be out here breathing this air and free and keep on trying than to go to hell back to jail. No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. It's nothing. It's not fun at all. So yeah, that's a large percentage. And
yeah, it is.
Not to be that the population. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I thought at first that this was all like made up wise, right? Race and wrongful. And I thought that the numbers weren't adding up, but they like, no, this is as of September 2022. So this was just done.
Done, yeah. Oh, wow.
It says innocent black people are 19 times more likely to be convicted of drug crimes than innocent whites, a much larger disparity than we see for murder and rape, despite the fact that white and black Americans use illegal drugs at similar rates.
Right.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just saying the discrimination between the two is like almost equal.
It is.
It's like you hear constantly what's pushed in the media is that hey Kendrick, you hear in the media constantly that black on black crime, but it's white on white crime as well.
It is,
right? And majority of the people that's white that kill each other, they kill a white person kills them.
Yeah,
it's not like other races are running up to kill white people, right? They're killing each other just like we're killing each other.
Exactly.
And so when you think
and you want to broadcast that, they always want to dim us and shine a light on something that's negative in
right
race, and it's terrible.
Than half his life in prison for murder. Prosecutors now say he did not commit.
I did time with this guy, man. Like, I didn't really know him, but I recognize him. Can you imagine spending all those years in prison and you're innocent? Yo, my heart goes out to him. Congratulations on your freedom, but nothing will give you those years back.
This man gets back home after 34 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Just in case anyone out there is still dumb enough to believe that Trump is a man of the people or has any perspective of what it's like to be average, Judge Merchan just announced that for Trump's 34 convicted felonies, he will have unconditional discharge. That basically means, yeah, you did all those crimes, you are a felon, and you don't have to pay any penalties or do any jail time. This is what happens if you're a billionaire in our society. You think I would go to court with 34 felonies and not serve any jail time? Yeah. This is about class. This isn't about political affiliations.
So Trump wants us to hate immigrants for bringing drugs into this country, but he just pardoned the drug dealer who created the Silk Road. Got it.
They're turning the detention centers into labor camps. That's the next step. That's the next escalation. Republicans aren't dumb. Oh, if you deport 11 million people, you're going to lose 11 million workers. Do you think that they're dumb? They're not losing any work. They're just going to be getting it for free. Because you can't deport 11 million people because their countries can't take them all at one time. Also, like, be so fucking for real. The deportation process isn't, oh, we pick you up and then the same day we put you on a plane and you go right back to the same city you're from. Some people don't even go back to the same country that they're from. Some people get deported that were born here. Crazy, yeah. We live in a regime. The 13th Amendment allows us to still do slave labor. It just has to be criminals only. And whoever we deem or accuse of being a criminal, however long they're in detention can be anything that we make it. And it's still constitutional. And also the Constitution can change at any time. They can burn it. They could just get rid of the whole thing. They literally took the page down. They could just get rid of the whole thing. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is promised to you. Oh, well, that's not how deportation works. You can't just throw someone in prison instead of deport them. Anything can change. Everything's changing. Everything has changed. He just signed like 200 executive orders and changed everything. And one of those executive orders just reversing a bunch of other executive orders. So it's like, you have to be so for real. You can't just tune out what you don't like. You have to pay attention to it, especially because you don't like him. Like, I know some of us, we just want to, oh my God, he's talking. I don't want to tune into his rally. I'm a hater. I'm not a viewer. You need to pay attention to everything he's saying, especially to the people he knows are going to agree with him. You need to be paying attention to what they're consuming, what they believe about you. We got to lock in, y'all. We got to lock in.
Who voted for her, who voted for Trump, who still supports them, doesn't believe that they would round up immigrants because it's an open secret that farms in this state are held up by undocumented workers.
How are they going to do that? Within 2 days, we will not have food. There will not be food anywhere.
Now look at yourself looking stupid on camera. What do you mean you didn't think he would go through with it? Why would you vote for something you don't believe would happen? No, you just wished it wouldn't affect you. But it will. Oh, within 2 days you won't have any food and you didn't think of that in the voting booth? This just proves that Americans voted against and not for. And how are they going to do that? By showing up in hospitals, daycares, schools, churches. This man reminds me of the fishermen who voted for the Brexit and then started crying when they lost their market. He hates his employees deeply. He said it with his whole chest and didn't even realize it. Out there looking Putain, faut quand même être con, quoi. Faut vraiment être con. Je comprends pas.
5% of farm workers in California alone, did not show up to work today. A lot of these are undocumented workers. But there's also a percentage of them that are not showing up to their shift in solidarity. California produces and exports the largest amount of citrus fruits, strawberries, grapefruit, oranges, lemons, limes. You have grapes, you have artichokes. I see a lot of people on this app saying, oh, I'm having trouble finding a job and there's no jobs out there. But now there's going to be plenty of jobs. What I want to know is, what did Donald Trump think was going to happen? It is not just farms. These folks are roofers. They work on our roadways. They work in construction and drywall and paving. They do a little bit of everything. Be prepared for your fruits and your vegetables to drastically increase in price. We're not even a week into this new administration, and we're all in the find out phase. Now, even though I didn't fuck around, me and all of my friends that voted blue, we're in the find out phase as well, even though we didn't want to find out. We didn't fuck around, therefore we shouldn't be finding out. I'm seeing a lot of people that live in Mexico that are saying, don't come here. Don't drink our tequila. Don't eat our tacos. Don't buy our food. Don't come to our beaches, our beautiful beaches and resorts. Who is going to be signing up to do these jobs? Because these jobs have to get done, right? Or you're going to have fields and fields of fruits and vegetables that are going to die. They're going to go bad. Then we can't bring them to the grocery stores. Who's going to do this? Who's going to sign up to do this? Because now you wanted them all to leave, and now they're leaving. So
Americans are so ungrateful to immigrants. One thing I think most people don't realize is that immigrants build this country. Without immigrants, America would fall. Whether you like it or not, if you take every single immigrant out of this country, America would fall. And it's crazy because so many of these people have been in America for years. They have helped this economy. They have worked their butt off every single day. And Americans still don't respect them. They don't even see them as people that deserve to be in this country. Whether you like it or not, immigrants will always work hard. Immigrants will always be the backbone of America. The people that built this country weren't even from America. Yeah, let's clock that. I'm gonna stop the video here, but that's my take on it, and I feel like as someone who has seen both sides, have been in both rooms, heard what people have to say, I just can't support the things that are going on in this country, especially like right now. It's so disgusting to me and it breaks my heart. People deserve better and need to be treated better. America is an amazing, beautiful country, don't get me wrong, but there's certain things that are just unacceptable and certain things that need to be recognized.
So let me get this straight. China unveils the fastest high-speed train, but America is building the tallest prison in the world. When rich people talk about how innovation is being stifled because of regulation, that's a complete lie. What's stifling innovation is projects like that. Building the tallest prison in the world. It's like America, it's like, when are y'all gonna just stop just using slave labor? It's been hundreds of years. When are y'all gonna get off the crack? What's stifling innovation is people the government not investing in its own people. You want to get to Mars, Elon? Invest in the right people. Stop trying to extract every single morsel of anything out of any for cents on the dollar. And y'all are agreeing to be used. And this is for the scientists and everything like that. Like, why are you all agreeing to be used by these people and you're not even being paid correctly? The tallest prison in the world. That's what we on still. China got all these green cars, like EVs on the road. Let me tell y'all something. I went to China 20 some odd years ago. When I had been in Beijing, the air quality was so bad. So bad. And I'm reading the comments right now of a video that I'm watching, Secular Talk. I've mentioned him before, Kyle Kalinski's show. And the people are saying China has completely evolved. Is China perfect? No. But it just seems like America is still stuck on the crack of slavery and the propaganda wars. You won't do the better, build back better, which would invest in the infrastructure. Y'all so quick to try to deport undocumented people, and y'all refuse to stop meddling in these people's country. You blame them for coming over here. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody wants to move. That's what's stifling innovation. Until you guys get off the slave labor crack, I don't see innovation going anywhere. Y'all still gonna be stuck on Earth, and you will be lucky if it still exists, because that bitch is not playing with us. She about to eliminate all of us if we don't get it together. The scientists already told us what's gonna happen if we don't blow ourselves up.
One thing I love about history is its repetitive nature. We can always trace our lived experiences from history. And from this video, from everything, the way it has gone to people questioning why American or Black Americans more in jail, and then going forward to the story of immigrants, and and also moving forward to what we are seeing right now with America making their biggest achievement, which is building the tallest prison in the world. So you can see where this country is heading. It's not bad to prioritize the security of your people, but since you're building that tallest prison in the world, don't you think that the most important thing is the need for education? So since now you are having free labor, you don't see the need to educate your nation. You are now leaving them in debt so that they can't afford the basic needs. How can they even function? Like, I'm now getting to see why America was able to keep its citizen veiled for all these years, because you can't think on an empty stomach while we always see you driving big cars. And if someone who couldn't believe how Americans are speaking of life being tough in their countries while they're driving. So there's nothing that Americans own without being taxed for. They are always is tax, 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 tax. So they are. Yeah, the analogy in the previous video explains it all. If you haven't watched that video, I would request you to watch the previous video, the video before this, so that you can be able to see where this kind of ideology has taken the United States and how the world is now viewing them. We are viewing you guys for who you are, not for what we believed you to be, and everyone was rushing into your country thinking that they're going to have their best life. Yeah, that was it about this video. I don't want to speak so much. I know I speak a lot. That was it about this video. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video. You can as well support the channel through the love button down there, and let's build this community. I love and appreciate you for change makers. Peace.